One of the things I get asked about a lot is the language barrier when traveling. How do you get around? How do you communicate? How do you um, just go about daily life when you don't speak the language? And I would say it's not as big of a thing as you would think. Um, yes and no. I mean, I have now, I moved to Colombia with no Spanish, practically no Spanish. I had studied it in school. I'd even done a study abroad in Spain, but it had been about 13, 14 years since I'd done anything with Spanish. And so I enrolled in classes and learned the language. Um, it sucks, yeah, in the beginning. You're bumbling around like a child. You can't do basic things. You're just pointing and grunting but I think that that is fun in a really weird and twisted and uncomfortable way. It's kind of fun to put yourself through that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were times when it was like, okay, this is extremely lonely and extremely frustrating, but it gave me more motivation to learn Spanish, more desire to learn Spanish. And I had purposely picked Medellin, Colombia, knowing that they did not speak. There were not a lot of people that spoke English. I wanted to go to a place that was more off the beaten path that would force me to learn Spanish. Now that I have Spanish, I feel incredibly comfortable because I do, it just kind of opens up the world. If you speak English or you speak Spanish, which a lot of people do, we can communicate. But I still feel very comfortable going to countries that don't speak either of those. And I've lived in Montenegro, I've lived in Croatia, I've been to, let's see, the UAE. I've been to Jordan and Qatar. Um, those places that don't speak, that English isn't their native language, there's still loads of English speakers. It's very rare for me to go anywhere in the world and encounter um, people who aren't helpful and speak a few words or understand a few words. I'm talking about like the please and the thank you and the over there. But I think that that's the thing too. When you take away language, you're left with body language, and you get to play these incredible games of charades that feel really good when you figured out what they're saying or they figure out what you're saying, and you get the task done. It's like these mini little challenges of, okay, I need to go from here to there, and I don't have words to do it. So how are we going to figure this out? But that being said, too, there's just no denying that with the modern world that we live in, there's so many options for translating. I still use the trusty, tried and true Google Translate. It's easy. It works well enough. There's probably loads of AI things out there that can translate even better. Um, frankly, I'm just too lazy to go look one up, and Google Translate works fine. If you've never used it, it's pretty cool. It can do. I usually use just the typing version, but it can also translate um, by audio. Like you can just record what you're saying in English, and you've got it set to the language of the other person, and you can just hold it out to them, and it'll speak it out in their language, and then they can say what they're saying back. I've done many a taxi trip all over the world that way, just kind of like getting the basics of what's needed. One of the things I like about Google Translate is that you can download it so that it works offline, even if you don't have internet. So, what you would do is just go to Google Translate before your trip and download the dictionary of the place that you're going. So, you could download Croatian and it'll have access to that even if you don't have service, which is great when it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. But I guess the main thing is just that it's something that you get more and more used to over time. Um, being comfortable with not being able to communicate. And it spurs you on in different ways. Either A, you're like, I'm going to learn the language, or B, you just get more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And actually, though, like some of the best interactions I've had are with people where I don't speak the language and they don't speak mine, and we have to communicate. Like, you realize the value of a smile, you realize the value of friendly body language versus non-friendly body language. You know, there's so many times when I've had this, I don't know, you just have this interaction and you figure it out. Words, you're not speaking the same language, but I just feel like you both part with a smile on your face because you're just like, we did the thing. We don't know the words for the thing, but I worked together with this other human being and we accomplished the thing. Um, and you do want to go, I would say, with a few basic words. I try to do that before I go to a new country. You got your obvious, you got your hello and your goodbye, you've got your please and your thank you, you've got your coffee, wine, and beer. Um, you need to know those. Cheers is a good one, salud, whatever it is. And people get so excited when you have at least made an attempt. Um, and I think another thing that's funny too is so many times you'll meet people around the world who will be like, "Oh, no, 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 my English is not good. My English is not good." And they'll proceed to speak better English than you. Um, a lot of people do have some English, but I think it's I think it's nice to try, to attempt, right? Especially a bit of combating some of that American, I don't know, it doesn't apply to all, but some of that attitude of, well, you come to our country, you speak our language. Well, it's only fair to do that when we go other places, I think. And so making an effort, learning a few words, it gets you a long, long way. And then you have your translation apps to rely on. Um, it's, I'm trying to thinking back to my younger self starting out. It's daunting, yes, but it's incredibly fun and freeing as well. Every interaction becomes an adventure. Not to say it's not hard. There are definitely days, oh my gosh, early days Colombia, where I remember just being at home, like, I can't leave the house today because like I just don't have the brain space to go out and fumble my way through not being able to speak to people, not being able to do basic things. The amount of anxiety of like, oh God, figure out how to go to a cafe and ask for a coffee. Ugh. But you keep doing it, you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. And eventually it becomes second nature. And you add some good qualities to yourself. Like, I am so willing to make a fool of myself now in a way that I just did not used to be. It's just like, we'll just, sure, walk up to this guy. Who cares if he doesn't speak the language? We'll just like do some, whatever that was, and we'll figure it out. Um, so don't let language stop you. Don't let language stop you. I would encourage you definitely to learn a language if you want to. Pick a place. I've still got France. I gotta go to France. I wanna spend some time there and learn French. I wanna go to Italy. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to be able to speak Italian. Um, if there's a place that pulls you because of the language, by all means go and do that. But if there's a place that you don't necessarily want to learn the language, go anyway. It's still going to be amazing. I spent, 3 months living in Croatia, 3 months living in Montenegro. I barely remember a few words, but I had an amazing time, met wonderful people, and loads of people do speak enough English that you can get around. So just go for it.